Okay guys, Red Pill Phil, still in Edinburgh, freezing my knackers off.
I thought it was tropical heat.
Oh, I know.
Tropical heat.
I know, yeah.
I'm going to get my mankini out.
Someone lied to me. I was under the impression it was going to be lovely today. So, hello there. Well, I'd first like to say hello and...
First time we've met today.
First time we've met. I do believe you're a subscriber of mine.
I certainly am.
So, can I just ask what your name is and what you're all about then, please?
I am Toni Bugle, the founder of Marias, which stands for Mothers Against Radical Islam and Sharia. I give a lot of support to girls who have been groomed and raped by Muslim grooming gangs. I give support and help to Muslim women. I've taken Muslim women into my home that have been fleeing from their own families because their families want them dead. They want to use her for people trafficking. They want to send her out to Somalia to marry a man, to bring him into the country, and then you do I divorce you 3 times, send her back out, and each time they would have got thousands of pounds for doing it. She didn't want to do that, so they wanted to sell her passport. She didn't want them to do that either. So the cousin attacked her during Eid and told her he intended to finish the job. She had nowhere to go. I took her into my home. What I found really fascinating is I started bringing around refugees, Muslim women's refugees, because I thought, you know, they're the people that's going to help her. And they kept asking me what her ethnicity was, and I'm going, does it matter? And they're like, yeah, no, we have to ask. I went, why? It's irrelevant. It's a woman in need. That's all you need to know. She's Muslim, she needs help. No, we need to know her ethnicity. I said, okay, she's Somalian. I'm very sorry, we only take Pakistani Muslims. Now, I'm sorry, if that's not racism.
It sounds a lot
right
like
there,
it. Yeah.
I don't know what is, and yet I'm constantly told I'm a racist. But she's in my home, I'm feeding her. She was with me for 2 weeks. That was investigated by Bedfordshire Police. She was obviously then, eventually we got her to a safe house. I don't know where it is. I hope she's well. And if she does ever watch this, I hope she's well. And she also wrote an article called The Caged Bird, which she had to take down because her family wanted her dead. And that was because she was against the burqa. And of course I'm against the burqa. I also stood for election as Police and Crime Commissioner in Bedfordshire.
Okay.
Where I knocked out the Labour incumbent by nicking enough of his votes to ensure he didn't win.
Excellent.
You had to secure 6% of the votes in order to get your £5,000 deposit back, which a lot of people helped me raise. I secured 6% of the vote.
Brilliant.
The Labour incumbent, Ollie Martins, who we kept saying that's another fine mess, Ollie, I managed to knock him off his block, and he actually spent £3,000 on a little magazine that he posted all around Bedfordshire saying, ban the bugle, not the burqa.
You are joking.
I'm not. And because of 5 years ago, there was some tweets to Tommy Robinson. They turned around and said, oh, you know, she's in EDL. And I said, I've never been to EDL. I've never been given a speech for the EDL. But I do know people who are, and I understand why they went there. You silenced them, you shut them up, you wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
They tried to tell you what's happening, you shut them down.
Created the demon.
So you actually were the ones that created that. And had you not done that, and you listened to the concerns, and you addressed these issues, you wouldn't be looking at the so-called rise of the far right, which is not the far right. There is nothing far right about the people I know.
No.
And like we were just saying, actually, the so-called right, there's more colour in the so-called right than there is in the liberal left.
Certainly. I'm just going to adjust this. Keep talking. I'm just going to adjust
you adjust away. But when I sit there and I think that these liberal left come out and they bang on about their white supremacy, that we've got white privilege, and I said to you, right now, I don't know where my white privilege card is, and I wish somebody would show me it, because I could do with the extra credits really. Would be a great help.
Yeah.
But when I sit with young girls that have literally been, and I mean tortured, Phil, I'm not talking just rape, I'm talking about imprisonment, beatings, beaten with chains, cigarettes put out on them, bags put over their heads, as if they're being suffocated, girls that have been beaten with chains, girls that were taken out to the middle of the woods and told, we're going to bury you there and we're going to leave you there. And we could bury you under those floorboards and nobody would care. And while they're raping her, bringing their wives, and the wives are abusing the girl. When that's happening, and they turn around and go, there's more white rapists, yes, we are still a majority in this country. Of course there's more white
The stats
rapists.
are going to say that.
But they're not, what they're not doing, they are not raping with impunity in gangs. They're not passing them on to uncles, brothers, cousins. That is happening in Muslim grooming gangs. That is the case. And if the left hold a protest against the BBC rapists and pedophiles, I'm right there with you. You want me to talk about it? Put me up there. You want to hold one against Westminster pedophiles? I'll be there. Now come and stand with me against Muslim grooming gangs. You're a racist. So which one of us now is the most intolerant?
Well,
because I don't think it's me.
It's not you. It's not you. I think when you come from a common sense background, I think these deluded people find it hard to sit at the table. And just as we've seen today when we and Janaea went over to the Antifa, they just can't seem to do anything other than just repeat the same sentences over and over again. I was saying the allegory to you before.
You were.
Which was, I thought it was quite a good one, where you've got a baby's toy, which you pull the string, it has a preset of like 4 or 5 statements that no matter how many times you pull it, it's going to do the same
So every time you go like that, you're a racist. You're a fascist.
Yeah.
You're a bigot.
And then in between the pulling of the string, I'm saying to them, well, why am I? And then they're just pulling the string again. They're not actually...
They've got no answers.
They can't
answer your question.
Yes.
Because the truth is they don't care about
Yep.
your question.
Yep.
That's the truth. Your question is irrelevant to them.
Yep.
They just want to stand there and go, we as white people, we stand up against, we had slaves. Well, I never owned a slave.
Yep.
Neither did my mum and dad, neither did my grandparents. And I guarantee if you go through my history, we were poor people. We couldn't afford a fucking slave. Like, we couldn't afford it. We didn't. I never owned them. But we said this, you and I both said this earlier. We're blamed for slavery, but it took white Western women that boycotted the sugar industry. They were called suffragettes, true feminists.
Would you like to take the opportunity to
I'm
show
very
your
proud of
badge?
this. My friend was dying of leukemia. She died on St George's Day.
Right.
But she bought me this just before she died.
Right.
And this is an original working class suffragettes pin badge.
Okay.
Now I also have a middle class working on solid silver, but I didn't want to lose it. I don't want to lose this, but I wear this everywhere I go. This is the colours of Marius, which is white, green and purple. That's true feminism. And they're femifascists. And the reason I'm a true feminist is, you and I are different. You're male, I'm female. Mm-hmm. People like it or not, emotionally, mentally, physically, we're different.
Yep.
But the truth of it is, you're not worth less than me, and I'm not worth less than you. We're equal in value.
They're moving to another bar. Are you still filming?
It's all right,
There's a bit of editing
my friend.
going on
That's
there.
okay. So one big party.
Terribly sorry for interrupting your interview.
That is fine. If I was going to be interrupted, I'd love it to be from someone like you, my friend. That's fine.
Yeah, Luke says that to me all the time. So I do. I'm very proud of my organisation. I'm very proud of what I do because I physically get in there. I get my hands dirty. I'm in the thick of it with these girls. I'm not shouting from the rooftops, admittedly. I know this, but I'm not afraid to speak my mind, as you saw today in the speech.
Oh.
I'm holding nothing
I love
back.
your mind.
Thank
You have
you.
entertained me no end today, honestly.
We've had a lovely day, haven't we?
We have. It's been
had a
brilliant.
lovely day.
It's been
And we're
brilliant.
going to exchange numbers as well, because I'd like
Yes,
to keep in touch.
yes.
I think that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Because what we and you have shown is that actually black and white really do unite. Right? The difference is, you'll go, yes, I'm not white, man. I'm a brown man. And I'll go, no, I'm a white woman. Do you know what? I'm just as proud of it.
Exactly.
And you don't go, oh no, you shouldn't say that, you're racist. And the more they say it, like I said to you, if you take a child and you go, you're bad, you're going to be nothing, and you grow up, you're going to be a criminal, you're going to be a thug. Well, tell you what, keep telling me, you're going to create it. So if you keep screaming racist, 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 you'll create racism.
It's the box thing, putting people in the box.
We got rid of it, it all but gone. You know, I'm not saying it didn't happen, of course it did.
Yeah.
But people like us would have gone, that's disgusting. Now when somebody says it, we don't believe it. It's the little boy that cried wolf.
Of course.
It is the little boy that cried wolf.
I mean, let's even it out. I mean, it's not to say that there's no racism and the world's a pretty place. Of course there's racism, and of course there'll always be racism, because you're going to get extremities in any movement. You're going to get even if people who are not even in a movement, you still got the ignorant masses that kind of, oh, well, I don't like it. And, you know, and that's always going to happen. But this is not what's happening here.
No.
You've got logical people that are getting together now and getting more informed. And they are being pigeonholed, which is having the Streisand effect, which is making them go, I'm not having you calling me this. And then once they go to one march, they start to talk to people, lovely people like yourself, and they start to go home and think, I'm right. I'm not actually as bad as I think I am. You know, and not only that, I'm in this movement now, and I feel that I'm wrong word, but I feel like I'm within comrades. You know what I mean?
What's wrong with comradeship?
No, it's just a
And
kind
unity,
of
true unity.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what we're seeing is actually the only people who judge your skin colour are the Liberal left.
Yes,
They
exactly.
look at you and go, oh, brown man must stand up for him.
Yes.
I don't look at you and go, oh, look, a brown man. I
Yeah.
go, oh, look, red pill, Phil. That's what
Thank
I
you.
say.
Yeah.
I see a man. He just happens to have a nice tan. I spend every summer trying to get one. Right? So,
Right.
you know, and just as
I'm
you
lucky.
look at, I mean, as you can see, I turn a funny shade of pink. I'm not even white. I'm beige.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm a beige person.
Well, can I just say I get white bits?
Do you?
I do, and I'm not going to show
I'm
them
not going to show you. No, please don't show
But I
me.
do, you know, I do get pasty like the rest of them, and I do enjoy a holiday, and I do come back feeling a hell of a glow.
See,
so
I get
we're all
white bits,
human.
but the rest is normally lobster pink. I look like a third lobster.
You sound like my wife. My wife goes all blotchy and stuff. Yeah, she never
Yeah, I'm
sounds
allergic
either.
to the sun.
Right, okay.
So I'm a bit like Count Dracula.
Right.
As soon as I come out in the sun, I get sores and it swells up. It's not pleasant.
Right,
It's
right.
not good for me. But then again, Edinburgh is having the same effect as I'm
Oh,
going
wow.
because by God, it's cold here
Wow,
today.
yeah. Well, there was a saying that I've got family that's related. They live in Glasgow from my wife's side, and there's a joke that we always have that they have to go to Manchester or go to abroad just to turn white again because it's the kind of grey because of the climate
It's a
of
funny
this
little
cold.
grey colour, isn't it?
It's yeah.
But it is beautiful here as well. It's a
I
magnificent.
love the place, so I don't want to offend any
honestly,
Scottish
I
people
drove
by
through
that
and
last remark.
It's a magnificent looking place.
Love it.
But what I really loved today was seeing those vets standing there, and me sitting there thinking, these men would take a bullet for you Liberal lefties.
Yep.
They would take a bullet, they would die to save your sorry arse.
Yep.
And you stand there and you have the audacity
Yep.
to speak of them in such a disrespectful manner. That repulses me.
Shameful.
And then seeing those people, those ex-Muslim guys, I'd spent an hour with them the night before. Rafai Salih, what an amazing man. Absolutely amazing. We really need to interview him when he gets
Yep.
a chance. Because he is, that man's got some. I mean, he's here today with a bulletproof vest. But hey, we live in a very safe country. But Sadiq Khan says it's all part and parcel. Well, you can take your
live with
part and
it.
parcel, Sadiq Khan. I would like to see your ass out.
Yeah.
Because you are destroying this country. You banned stop and search because you said it was racist. They used to stop them with 3-inch knives. Now they're running around with dirty great machetes. So clearly there was a problem there then, wasn't there? So it
course.
wasn't racist. There was a problem,
Yeah.
and the police were dealing with it.
Yeah.
And you are actually putting our coppers in the front line, in the firing line. You're placing them in danger.
Yeah.
You're a disgrace.
And the
to my
citizens.
country.
Citizens that are walking the streets. I mean, we've just shown the
bollards.
The bollards.
Yes, it's a safe country. This.
Oh, of
Phil.
course, yeah. And it looks pretty.
Well, that's the Rainbow Nation. It's obviously we have to have rainbow colours now because we have to be gender fluid, gender neutral.
Oh, of course, yes.
Can't be male and female. God forbid you should say that.
No.
How dare you?
There's no such thing as X and Y
How
chromosomes.
No. And
No.
the fact that we walk differently, talk differently, and you can't wear heels and make them look good.
Well, I could, but I wouldn't want to.
They wouldn't look good. I've seen your legs, Phil. I've checked your legs out. They're a
No,
little bit
they're not,
Barra's kneecap
not
going on
designed.
there.
Not designed for heels.
But we are different. But you're not worth more than me, and I'm sure as hell not worth more than you just because I'm the
We're all
woman.
the same.
So and we talked about it today when you got the BBC saying anyone can apply for a job as long as you're not white. Employ somebody on their ability to do the job.
Yeah.
Because actually, when they employ you on the basis of your skin colour, how derogatory is that to you?
For me, it's insulting because
It is.
I want to be known as someone who is worth something, not somebody, oh, well, let's just get him in there because it makes up the numbers. We have to have 1% of minorities in the council, in this and that, so you represent that 1%, even if you can't do
And
the
if
job.
you join the police force, you must be showing, you have to prove now. When you're in the police force, you have to actively prove you are spreading diversity to be able to further your career. So now, you can't just be a good copper who does his job well. No,
Yeah.
you've got to show your... That's why you see coppers standing with heels on, rainbow colours.
See, to me, true diversity is to say, if you want this job, you educate yourself in order to do this job. You stand in the queue with everybody else, and you will get a fair crack of the whip like everybody else. This is a colourless queue. It's all about how well you can do this job and
The
perform the
problem
task.
is, I know that... So I can't say who I did the research for, but I did some very in-depth research into the police force. And they were Islamic... I can't call them anything other than Islamic extremists.
Right.
That were saying to us, we will never accept your law. we will only ever accept Sharia law. It is superior to your law. You're a copper, and you're telling me you will never accept the very law you're supposed to be applying.
They've gone against the oath.
Even one of them said, I can't name who, he said, of course women can join, Muslim women can become police officers, but they should never hold a position of authority.
That's true
Great,
diversity.
let's hold women down while you liberal left go, there's nothing wrong with Sharia law, there's everything wrong with Sharia law. Everything. It treats women abhorrently, it keeps women dumbed down, it stops women from being able to voice their concerns, and I actually believe you empower Muslim women, you will disempower them with
Well, that's a good point you bring up, because if the politicians and the media had a pair of balls and could actually talk about this issue rationally, it might empower people to actually go, well, you know what, I feel that I should speak up about this, but whilst they're kind of edging people just to hide away and go, oh no, hide behind me, it's all right, we'll protect you. They're never ever going to come out.
No.
Because why would they? Because not only they've got to fight against the media as well then. Like you've got, you know, ex-Muslims and this, that and the other, where it should be.
And why
easy.
should I believe people in my country have a right to live without fear.
Yes.
But we've got ex-Muslims walking around with bulletproof vests on. Hardly living without fear, is it? If you want to stand up for something, stand up for what's right, for what's just, for what makes people truly equal. Don't stand there with your self-appointed importance and your own, I was raised, I guarantee they all come from rather well-off backgrounds. They've all gone university, and they've all shunned their university where they've gone to, and they've all looked down their nose at the history of the university they've attended.
Exactly, yeah.
But yet, without that history, you wouldn't have that university to get that education. You pampered little mummy's boy, pampered little mummy's girl. Get off your arse and have a look around you at the people where the working classes are actually saying, we're more educated than you are. We're smarter than you are. You might be educated, but intelligence is nothing in comparison to common sense. And you lack common sense, you lack moral fibre.
Yeah. You can have all the intelligence.
Imagine if we had a war now, seriously. If there was a war, an actual war, and all the left were called up for duty to serve the country. Yeah, seriously, all the Sawyer boys.
You know what I can imagine? As soon as they heard the pew with the first bullet, I can imagine they're all going to turn and leg it. Whereas you've got these guys who have come out today. I mean, some of the vets have just told me they're 20, 30 grand in debt doing what they're doing. You know, the wives are saying, oh, I need a holiday, and they're saying, well, you can go, but I can't, you know, I'm doing this. So why can't the left appreciate the sacrifices of guys that have put themselves on the line psychologically and everything, you know, come back with all kinds of mental scars?
Some of the girls that I've dealt with that have been groomed and raped and trafficked, and I'm not talking like just targeted and raped, I mean, that's bad enough when somebody's raped. But some of these girls were trafficked for up to 12 years. Abused in the most apparent way. I have gone out and I've raised maybe over £1,000 for each girl to try and help her personally. I've put into that myself. I put my fuel from my money, what little I get, and I get off my arse and I go to them and I give them the support they need. And I bring those girls together with Muslim women. And they see it and they realise they've both been victims. And they're empowered by that. That's strength. That's true feminism. Not this bullshit, sorry for my language.
No, you go for it.
These liberal left are coming out with. You're weak. You're weak. You're pathetic.
Submissive.
And you're a disgrace. Because what you will do is let victims suffer. And I'm sorry, but silence creates victims.
Of course it does.
And that is where my next project's going to be going, in that direction.
Well, I was actually going to ask you, what have you got coming up? Because you sound like a very active lady.
Who's an active lady? I need a sodding holiday. I'm going to be organising the next Maria's conference.
Right.
Now, the last conference I had, a lady called Rahil Raza flew over from Canada. She did a video called By the Numbers. Seriously, Phil, check it out.
Right, okay.
This is an amazing Muslim woman. And she's speaking out against Sharia law. She's a Canadian. She actually got Sharia law, got stopped in Canada until Trudeau took over. And she flew over from Canada. She was at last conference. I also am hoping to get Taj Harvey. I think he's great. I'd like to get him at the conference. And I'm hoping that Faisal Islam will be able to make it as well. And on top of that, I've got a lady who's a mum, whose daughter was trafficked. I've got a young lady whose cousin was, she was forced to have a tattoo of this guy's name, and it said property of. He then raped her. He stabbed her multiple times. When that didn't kill her, he put a cord around her neck until she was dead. He did this while her young boy was in the room. When that hit the newspaper, she was referred to as carpet girl. Nobody knows her name. Why do we know who Stephen Lawrence is? But nobody knows her name. And sorry if I swear here, but by fuck I will make sure her name's never forgotten.
Yeah.
Because I will keep fighting for these women.
Yeah.
I will keep doing it. And dads whose hearts are breaking, their hearts are absolutely torn to pieces. They cannot believe that they didn't know. But they don't realise that when girls are going through this, they don't become liars because they want to lie. They become liars because they think they're protecting you.
True.
So they become the best liars in the world. Anything that keeps their family safe, so their family don't get harmed.
Yeah.
So the family couldn't have known.
Yeah.
And these people suffer. And their hearts are breaking. I mean, some of the cases that I've dealt with, and I can't go into a quite but personally, because a lot of these people are strictly confidential. Mm-hmm. At the moment, I've got over 50 girls and women in touch with me. I do a lot of mileage, and my car's looking very old and battered now, but you go there and you watch them flourish and bloom and get stronger and empowered, and they take the control back.
That must give you more adrenaline to keep going and doing what you do.
Oh, it drives me. They drive me. I'm so proud of them. I am so proud of them. Because when they take that control back, that's what you've got to do. Because these liberal left, they are the same. They're no different than a groomer. They are no different. They may not be raping, they just rape your identity,
yes,
your culture,
yeah,
and your history.
It's still repression.
So you've got to take the control back. When you take the control back, they cannot manipulate you anymore. And that's what I do for these girls, and that's how I empower them.
Fantastic.
And if I can make a difference to one girl's life, just one, then I've done what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of it. I am. I'm proud of them, actually.
Well, if this was a road that you're travelling on, you're already way up the road, aren't you? Because it sounds like you're doing a hell of a lot of good. You know, there's a hell of a lot of women that are appreciating what you're doing, the service that you're providing. And you just said, all free of charge. This is literally your own sacrifice that you're putting yourself out there for.
And my own physical health suffers a little bit as well.
Well, yes.
I have a lot of health problems.
We've had a chat about that as well. So, I mean, people on the right, people on the left, we all need to recognise that everyone who attends marches, everyone who speaks out, there's a certain amount that they are giving up as a human being in order to do it. We're not just doing it out of sheer hatred.
No, and I would actually offer an
concern.
invite to those on the left.
Yeah.
I don't care who they are. When the Maria's conference is held, all we need is your full name and address. That is purely so that your name can go on the list. Mm-hmm. You are more than welcome to come along to the conference. Let's have the discussion. But come along and behave in a respectful manner. Ask your questions, listen to the answers, because you might go away slightly more educated than you arrived.
Yeah.
And maybe you're going to find common ground. And maybe then we can stop tearing chunks out of each other. But until you do, I'm sorry, you are the enemy of my country. And you will continue to be so.
Stifling any progression. And that is the bottom line.
Absolutely.
So, Toni Bugle, how can people best get in touch with you?
Well, they can go on to marias.org.uk, which is my website, where they will find blogs on there by ex-police officers who served 30 years frontline, blogs on there by girls who have been groomed and raped, blogs by apostates, all in their own words. I don't write anything for them. They can also go on to Twitter, Toni Matrix Bugle. I get called the Matrix because apparently I'm the mother of all patriots, and it was a nickname that just kind of stuck.
Right.
So that's why that's on there. And also on Facebook, just type in Toni Bugle. There's 2 accounts. Right. Because I keep getting Facebook bans for telling the truth.
Well, Facebook's like that, yeah. Facebook.
Do you know what it was? There was two lads, 2 or 3 lads had stolen a poppy tin, right? And the picture of me sent to me, and I put it on Facebook. I said, "You thieving little bastards." Nothing else. They happen to be of Pakistani origin. I didn't give a shit. You stole a poppy tin. You stole it.
There's nothing racist about calling someone a bastard, really, right? Is there, you know?
Well, that's what you were. You stole it.
Exactly, exactly. Lowest of the low.
Facebook said that I breached their terms, and then what I was doing was bullying. I didn't name them.
See, but...
And I didn't steal the tin.
See, Toni Bugle, within their terms, I think telling the truth is a sin.
It is.
So you have breached it.
Yeah, the truth is no hate speech.
Yeah.
It is.
So that's
literally.
the bottom line. What they don't say to you is, well, you know, the terms are that you can't really tell the truth, you can't be honest, you can't have integrity. And the one thing you do is you don't stand up like Toni Bugle.
Yeah, don't stand up for right over wrong instead of left over right.
Oh, this is
You
it.
know what I mean? Left
Yeah.
is far more superior than the truth.
Yeah.
But there is an old saying, the truth will set you free.
And it's-
Come along and hear the truth, and maybe a few liberal left will be set free.
Well, I just look at the glow on your face, and I think what you've had to endure over the years, because you've told me certain things, and what you're doing now, and it's not shown on you one bit. And I think that is a testament to you, and a testament to anyone who's under you. You know, you obviously are an inspirational person to a hell of a lot of women and a hell of a lot of people.
I'm really, really crap at taking compliments, Phil. I've got to be honest with you, I'm not good at compliments.
Well, you don't have to reply in words, just money will do.
Okay, well, you see that fine one?
Yeah, just
over
slip
there, right?
it underneath there.
I mean, that was £5 worth. You really need to push it up if you want any more.
Yeah, I
you
can
really
give it-
have to. I mean, like attractive, young. I mean, they're all life, but that's irrelevant. That will do for me.
Oh, no.
But no, I do. Look, I'm proud of what I do. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of where I came from to where I am now. And I have lived homeless on the streets for almost a year. I have been gang raped. I did suffer abuse.
I didn't know whether you wanted to talk about that.
That's fine, it's not a secret.
Right.
But, so I went from sleeping on cardboard where I would fight somebody for cardboard because that was the difference between freezing today. Now I've got a home. Is it the richest home in the world? No. But it's my castle. I did that because I'm a survivor. I went from victim to survivor to warrior. And that's where I take these girls.
Yes.
I say, you come with me and I'll drag you kicking and screaming all the way to that tunnel. And when you get to the other end, we're going to push you even further.
Yeah.
You're going to go from victim to survivor to you're a warrior. And the thing is, if you declare war on women, you will create warriors.
Yes.
So actually, I'm a testament to every person that declared war on women and men like yourself, and true feminists like yourself, because you will. Because you would stand up and defend my rights as a woman.
Of course we would.
So you're more feminist than they'll ever be. They are the feminist-fascists.
True, yeah.
And they're not having the
I've never heard it in that slang before. No, but it makes sense. You can't. That is a red-pilling statement.
It is.
You know, and most men could do with considering that.
They need to understand that, yes, we're different, and we're equal in value in every way. But the truth of it is, will you stand up against Sharia law that abuses women? Of course you will. Will you stand up if somebody tries to tell your women that raping them, they're just going to be part and parcel of each city? Yes, you'll stand up. And will you push your women to the forefront and defend their right to their freedom of speech? Yes, you will. That makes you a feminist then, doesn't it?
It does.
So actually, there are more male feminists than there are female.
Well, I guess so, yeah, because it's all about honour. And that's
Because
what
a
it is.
lot of men don't understand that. So they think that this third wave feminism, which is a...
They're buying into it.
Yes, they need to take the word back, own it.
Yes.
It's like when they call you far right, own it. Own the word. Because what does the word right mean? It's just the opposite of wrong. So, you call me far right.
I love your mindset. I do love your mindset. Seriously, it's great. Because this is why I can see the one thing that really gets me, and I know a lot of people have had a lot of horrible things in their life, but the one thing I really appreciate and I resonate with, no matter what you've gone on in life, you've got to flip it into a positive.
Yes.
Because if you let it take you down, it's like
Take
a
the
lead
negative,
weight.
turn it into a positive.
Yes.
Because from that positive comes power.
Oh, without a doubt. Look at you. Seriously, I mean, obviously, I mean, with what you've just explained that's gone on in your life, you would not think that's speaking to you, you know?
Yeah.
What was you saying about that comment? I don't know if you can remember it, about the bugle. Do you remember
Do you
the
mean
little
when the
one-liner?
troll had said to me, he said, you like the sound of your own trumpet? I said, actually, I prefer a bugle because it's smaller and it's fucking louder.
Exactly.
So it's easier to carry a bugle.
Exactly.
So I will keep blowing that bugle. Do you know why? Because it will silence out your trumpet.
Exactly.
So I don't really... The truth of it is as well, like I said it there today when I was giving that speech and they were screaming and chanting and I went, do you know what? Keep shouting because I can shout louder. And for longer.
Toni Bugle, it has been an absolute
It
pleasure.
has been a pleasure meeting you, and I couldn't believe you stood there. I mean, that's red. I'm so having him.
Come here, give me a big hug. It's been awesome.
We need to find you on Facebook and we can
Yep.
exchange phone numbers.
Yep.
Because I want to keep in touch with you because I've
Yep.
got some ideas.
Okay. Well,
And I really want to put them to you.
well, I'll get this shoot finished and then we'll exchange phone numbers because I'm not on Facebook.
When you
see,
get it
so.
on YouTube, send it over and I'll upload it to mine. We'll get it out further.
Okay. Toni
Kiss,
Bugle.
my darling. Mwah.
You take care. Be strong.
I will do.
Yes. Been a pleasure. Thank you. See you later. Wow, what an inspirational lady. Red Pill Phil. My word. Tell you what. For every lady who just suffered a little bit of victimhood in their life, had an ounce of what she had, tell you what, the world would be a better place. Tell her strength, integrity, honour. My God, tip my hat to her.